going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ. You up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got a bunch of scars on.
I love my TMZ family. Smooch.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo wearing those Maryland colors very proudly today because, boy, did the NCAA tournament ever live up to its name, its March Madness name over the weekend, Mojo. We now have 16 teams remaining. No game more exciting than your Terrapins. They were down, Mojo. They needed a bucket late to win this game, and thanks to Derek Queen, that's exactly what happened.
If they don't make one here, their season is over. Gillespie to inbounds. He finds Queen. Queen turns, puts it up at the buzzer, and in! Maryland is headed to the Sweet 16 for the second time in 22 years. It's the freshman Derek Queen. He's a Maryland hero.
All right, everybody, there you have it. Derek Queen and the Maryland Terrapins advancing to the Sweet 16 of the March Madness bracket, holding it down for the entire state. We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the talk of the entire country right now here on TMZ Sports, Derek Queen. Derek, how are you feeling today? Hopefully as good as I am.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, amazing. I mean, another day to play, prepare for another team, and just like happy I didn't let the seniors down.
Look, I don't know where to start with this one. I'm excited to chat with you, but you just said it right there. Happy you didn't let the seniors down. You are a freshman. You just got out of high school, thrown into an opportunity like that where you were able to call game. The team put the ball in your hands, a freshman's hands, to deliver them the big win and keep the season alive. I mean, in the moment, how does that feel? How does that happen?
Coach Willard had asked us, like, who want the ball? And then I was the first one that said me, and I was like, and I really wanted the ball. And the seniors was like, okay, let's do it. Coach Willard, all the coaches everybody was behind me, was ready for me to make a big play. And then they trusted me to make the big shot.
Well, you certainly did. Now, when you asked for the ball, was it more of a confidence thing, or did you see something out there that made you think you had the best chance to give your team the go-ahead?
No, it was a confidence thing because Coach Willard, he probably would have drew up something to like a post touch or something like that. But like so we ran that play versus Michigan. I had got fouled. It was like good result, and we went back to it again, and then this time I didn't get fouled, and the play went all the way through, and I just made the shot.
I mean, what does it feel like for you? I mean, all the seniors on the team, like you said, guys that have been there for a long time. You asked for the ball. Nobody said anything. Nobody doubted you. Nobody tried to fight you for it. There was no arguments or anything. I mean, that's got to feel good. I mean, obviously, you're a player that they believe in. You were the Big Ten Rookie of the Year, first team All Big Ten. So it's not like you hadn't had a great season already. But what's that relationship like with the seniors?
Yes, so they is my brothers. So like we do like a lot of stuff together, like to build team chemistry. Like we go shopping, we go out to eat, like we go in each other's rooms, watch sports, talk, mess with each other, like the locker room talks and stuff. So like we all built the chemistry, and then I feel like if anybody would have took that shot, we'd have been behind them and supporting them, and we felt like we would have felt like it would have went in also. But they had all trusted me. And then, because like I said, they're my brothers and they trust me. So, and they just wanted me to take that last shot.
Man, well, that had me hyped up. I was losing my mind last night. Probably woke up my wife and the baby at home shouting all through the house. You guys got a big one next. Top seeded Florida. How are you guys feeling going into that game? I mean, obviously not a ton of time to prepare, like maybe during the regular season. I mean, talk about that one coming up.
A very good team. I mean, so like I said, me and all my teammates, like we all watch games in each other's rooms, so we kind of like know if, like we have a feel of who's their guy and what they can do as a team. But now it's up to us and the coaches to really focus and lock in and get a big W.
Before I let you go, I know you're busy. You guys got a big one coming up, obviously, against top seed Florida. Talk about the future. I mean, you've been able to accomplish all of this as a freshman. Again, Big Ten Rookie of the Year, first team Big Ten, just scored the game winner to advance to the Sweet 16 for the Terps. What does the future look like for Derek Queen?
First, trying to add a championship to my resume. And then after that, just keep working, just keep getting better, and just keep being myself and perfect my craft.
There it is, man. Well, the freshman phenom himself, Derek Queen, royalty in the house. Thank you so much for joining us today on TMZ Sports. Best of luck against #1 Florida. In my March Madness bracket, I picked Maryland winning the whole thing. So we're on the way, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
The sports world continues to mourn the loss of George Foreman. When we come back, his former opponent turned friend, Michael Moore, reflects on the life and legacy of one of the greatest to ever step foot inside the squared circle. Stay with us. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike Babcock here. Shocking news Friday night. We all learned that the great George Foreman passed away at the age of 76 years old. Obviously, George had so many massive fights over the decades. Everyone from Muhammad Ali to this man right here, Michael Moore, multiple-time world champion, who obviously in 1994 at the MGM Grand of Fort George Foreman, and we're so lucky to be joined by Michael now. Michael, how are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Mike. I appreciate it. I guess when you hear the news Friday night, obviously this is somebody that you guys are legends in this sport, and it's rarefied air. What were your thoughts when you found out George passed Friday?
It was shocking. I didn't believe it was true at first, and then I saw the line and everybody was talking about it, and it was devastating.
Did you know that he was sick? I don't know that many people did. Did you know that George was having some health issues?
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything if he was sick or if he had any problems or anything.
Take us back, Michael, and it's difficult because not often you ask about a fight, obviously, that you lose, and you didn't lose many of them. But take me back to November 1994, and as I know you're 26, going on 27 years old. You've got this old legend in front of you. Take me back to that and just the memories of that night.
Training camp was great. I had 10 and a half weeks of training camp. I was very, very confident. Teddy was confident. We went in there. We had a game plan, and unfortunately, I didn't follow the game plan because I was comfortable, and that was my first loss, and it was devastating for me. Yeah. But that's part of the game.
If you're able to separate yourself from it, I mean, how impressive is it that he was able to go in there against a guy like you and be so much? I mean, 46 years old, you say, hey, he should be out of his athletic prime by then. And he might not have looked physically like he looked in his younger days, but how amazing is it? And what does it say about George that he was able to have that performance against an amazingly talented fighter like yourself?
Yeah, I did. Amazing fighter. He just had the tenacity to do what he wanted to. How he wanted that was his whole career, and I was winning the fight convincingly, but just like it happened.
Did you guys keep in touch over the years at all, Michael?
Oh yeah. George and I had a relationship over the telephone, and the movie. We went for the movie, and I'm glad my son got to be a part of it, just to be able to be around a legend like George and taking a picture with him. I'm glad that happened.
That's great to hear. And it seems, Michael, and I got to talk to him here and there, interview him over the years, and was incredibly kind to me. I mean, it seems like everybody that has a story about George, whether you knew him a little bit or a lot, I mean, he just seemed like a fantastic person, aside from as talented as he was as an athlete.
George was a gentle giant. Always, always a gentle giant. He could be so big, but so his mannerisms, he was just such a great person.
That's amazing. What was that punching power like, Michael? You always heard people obviously talk about it. What was his punching power like?
Um, the punching power, it wasn't the punching power, it was just being caught at the right spot. He caught me with a perfect right hand that put 32 stitches in my lip and put me out.
Yeah.
It was a perfect punch. That's all.
I'll get you out of here on this one, Michael. At the end of the day, what's the legacy when you remember George? What do you think about? What will you tell your son and tell your grandkids about when you talk about George Foreman?
I had an opportunity to fight this man, and this man gave me a fight. And I would just tell him the whole story about how everything led up to the fight, and I can show him tapes and videos, stuff like that. It'd be something good in the future.
It's cool because people will say, "Hey, I shared a ring with Michael Moore." You obviously also get to say, "Hey, I get to share a ring with George Foreman." How cool is that, just personally?
Right. That's very, very cool. The icon like George is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Michael, for sharing your thoughts here. That was a special fight that you guys shared in there, and I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts here after George's passing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Xavier Worthy says he was abused and extorted by his domestic violence accuser. The very latest on a new lawsuit filed by the Chiefs wide receiver when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike, Mojo, and Edward. Guys, Xavier Worthy has been in the news the last couple of weeks. He's been under fire, really, after his fiancée, Tia Jones, accused him of getting physical with her. Now, remember, March 7th, he was actually arrested, hauled off to jail. He was ultimately not charged, but his fiancée has been adamant that he got physical with her. Now, Xavier, on the other hand, has been adamant that he never did anything to Tia, that he did not get physical with her, and in fact, that he was actually the victim. And now today, Edward, Xavier Worthy has taken a big step to clear his name.
Yeah, Worthy has actually filed a lawsuit in Williamson County, Texas this morning, alleging basically what you just said, that he is actually the victim. It's a lengthy several pages of documents that he filed, but he's essentially saying that on March 7th, after weeks of trying to kick Tia Jones out over an alleged cheating scandal, I guess you could call it, everything kind of snapped. He says she destroyed his game room, where she broke his desk and a PlayStation 5. And in the lawsuit, he actually attached a picture of the said game room, and you can see that there. He says she also ripped out chunks of his hair and scratched his face. In the lawsuit, he attached, again, as you can see on the screen, pictures of his head where he says the chunks of his hair were missing. Wow. And he says that when he was in custody, she stole or destroyed over $150,000 worth of his personal property and cash from his residence. He's alleging this is all some kind of scheme, some kind of extortion plot, and her application for a protective order is part of that extortion plot to kind of soil his name and maybe get some money from him in return. So he's going after her. In the lawsuit, he's suing her for over $250,000 in damages.
Wow. I've talked to people who are familiar with what's going on with this case, too, and I've been told that they tried the last couple of weeks. They really tried. They made an effort to try and settle this outside of the courtroom, but ultimately they felt like they weren't making any progress. And that's why then on Monday he decides that he's going to fight back. And he, like you said, Edward, he filed this lawsuit. And I mean, look, who knows what happened there, but he has included what he says is evidence to show that he is telling the truth there. It certainly looks like the game room is messed up. And you see the photos there, Mojo, of his hair. And again, I think he's made a point here that he is not going to take this anymore, and he feels like he's in the right, and he's fighting back, bottom line.
Well, I mean, if you're Xavier Worthy and this is what you're saying happened, how do you not do this? Yep. I mean, you can get your name destroyed. You can get canceled. so quickly for a domestic violence issue of any kind. And that's it. That's all she wrote. You know, you're not going to be able to get brand deals, your sponsorship money, your team might let you go. Once your team lets you go, who knows if anyone in the NFL is going to want to touch you again. I mean, you can be a great player, but if you're a liability, if you're a problem, if you're bad for the team's brand and image, nobody's going to take you. And just like that, your career is done. And you might not necessarily have done anything whatsoever. You might have been the victim. You might be a player that has everything going for you, that's worked so hard their entire life to come into this lifestyle and all the monies, riches, and fame that comes with it. And that's being used against you to weaponize against you. Maybe it's somebody that you were dating for the time, you know, and if that relationship came to an end and this person is looking at what their life is going to be like without you, without the limelight, without all that money that a superstar player comes with, this is unfortunately how some people act. Now, of course, we're still trying to get to the bottom of this and find out exactly what happened. We've certainly seen both sides of the story now. And for Xavier Worthy, I mean, this is a hell of a case that he's put together. I mean, the hair that's torn out of his head. I mean, think about it. In that situation, how are you supposed to act when someone's breaking all your stuff, damaging hundreds of thousands of dollars of your personal belongings, literally pulling your hair out of your head? I mean, how do you defend? Like, what do you do? How do you get them to stop, you know? So it's a really troubling situation, really scary to see. But now it looks like we have both sides of the stories, and the courts are going to have to play this one out.
Tiger Woods makes things Instagram official with Vanessa Trump. Plus, Jake Paul gets down on one knee and asks Yuta Leerdam for her hand in marriage. Love is in the air when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, it's time for We Love It, featuring some big stars today, Mojo. So let's start with arguably the greatest golfer of all time. Tiger Woods has got himself a new lady in his life, Mojo, and she is affiliated with the Trump family. So on Sunday, Tiger hard launched this relationship. We've known about it, but he never actually spoke about it. Well, now he has. Tiger is dating Vanessa Trump. Vanessa Trump is the ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr. They were married from 2005 to 2018. They've got several kids together, including Kai Trump. Mojo. Kai Mojo is a very accomplished golfer. Of course, Vanessa is her mom. Well, Tiger Woods' son Charlie, also a very accomplished golfer. Kai and Charlie go to the same high school. That's where they presumably met. Also, Donald Trump and Tiger Woods are friends. So about that post, Tiger Woods has this to say. Love is in the air and life is better with you by my side. We look forward to our journey through life together. At this time, we would appreciate privacy to all those close to our hearts. I don't know if they're going to get privacy, Mojo, but Tiger Woods, Vanessa Trump, new hot relationship.
That's a nice request, Tiger, but no one's going to accept that one. Everyone's going to be all up in your grill. And you knew that. You knew what was going to happen. I mean, don't act like you, Tiger Woods, who's been under a microscope his whole life, doesn't know that this is coming. But hey, if you are Trump's ex, how do you make the son of the sitting president jealous with your dating choices? There's few people on earth that you could go down this route with that might have that effect. And the golf GOAT is probably one of those people. So a good choice here. I'm not saying that factored into this decision whatsoever. I wouldn't imply that. But it is an undeniable reality here, Babcock. But they look cozy. They look like they're having a good time. Everybody seems happy and healthy, so you can't not be happy for them.
I agree, Mojo. So we'll see what happens. They look very happy. Moving on to Jake Paul. Jake Paul got engaged, Mojo. He announced this on Saturday. Of course, Yuta Leerdam is his girlfriend. They've been dating since 2022. It was an absolutely gorgeous proposal. Look at Jake there on one knee. Of course, Yuta said yes. She is a very accomplished speed skater, athlete in her own right, silver medalist, and they are very happy, Mojo. Now, what's interesting is that Jake and the whole Paul family, including his brother Logan, they've got a big reality show that's coming out on Thursday. We talked to them last week, Mojo, Jake and Logan. It was hard, they told us, to actually get the women, Nina Agdal and Yuta, on board. Watch this.
The biggest thing is like in the vlogs, you kind of stop filming when it's the moments that get serious in our serious life. With reality TV, those are the moments where you keep filming and then you put it out there. So I think everyone in the family had to get used to all of the madness being out there and the drama that comes with it within the family. And again, like Logan said, putting entertainment first above all else has been a massaging process, interestingly enough, even for us. So I think it's been pretty crazy and caused a lot of family issues, but here we are, March 27th. It's going to be great. It's going to be sick.
We got the ladies on board, and truthfully, it's part of why this show is even being made, because it's a side of our lives, our love lives, that the internet has never seen before. Like him specifically, it's as his brother, it's crazy to see what Jake Paul in love looks like, and I think people are going to be shocked by it.
All right, Mojo. So we've seen Jake Paul on his vlogs for years. Now we get to see Jake Paul in love. This thing is called Paul American. It's on Max. I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm looking forward to the show, and obviously we congratulate Jake Paul and his fiance Yuta. We are out of time, Mojo. We got a bunch to talk about this week as we gear up for the Sweet 16. It's going to be a great show tomorrow.
That's right, baby. Maryland advancing to the Sweet 16, getting ready to make Gator soup out of the #1 top-seeded Florida Gators, and that will make tomorrow the best show since today. Go Terps.
I'm a lawyer.